fuck, shit, and fucking shit, fuck.
Welcome to Jarred.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Jarred. Wow. Happy Halloween.
Oh, my fly's open. Oh, my fly's open. Sorry.
Happy Halloween. Ryan's fly's open.
Happy Halloween, everybody. I'm gonna sit with
Scare everyone.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit with my dick out and scare you all.
Great. Please don't.
Oh, what a fucking intro. Oh.
I want to say that this Halloween has been exponentially better than last Halloween in terms of like our trick-or-treaters. I don't know. I guess it was like a COVID thing last year. Like I pre-made 100 bags of candy because I knew people were probably going to be weird about like diving into a, thing of candy like that everyone else's hands have been in. Yep. So I made 100 little bags with assorted candies. I'm like, yes, finally, our first year in a neighborhood. We're going to have trick-or-treaters because we lived out in the middle of nowhere before, never had trick-or-treaters. And then like 12 people, well, I'm not going to say 12 people showed up. 12 bags got taken, but I had repeat customers, like people who passed by in the beginning and then came back as they were heading back out. So, not that many trick-or-treaters last year, but we got swarmed this year, and that was great. I went as Michael Myers, as you guys know, and I told you in the group chat, but I'll tell our listeners, I did have a very memorable little girl. She was dressed up as a little angel. She was absolutely adorable. She came up and so confidently, with her entire chest, said, "Happy Halloween, Michael Jackson!" And I was... And her mom was like, "That's not Michael Jackson." I'm like, well, you're half right. It's okay. It's no big deal.
Yeah, half, yeah.
Maybe someone said to her, "That's Michael." When she might have asked
Maybe.
who's that.
Yeah.
They said, "That's Michael."
But like, I think my favorite part of the night, it was not necessarily the trick-or-treaters, but the neighbors 2 doors down from us, like they were also sitting in their driveways, but they had like Halloween music playing like really loud, and at one point they played the Halloween theme song, like the original one. Oh, wow. And I was like, "Charles, should I walk down there right now?" And he was like, "Yeah, do it." I'm like, okay. So I had my mask on and off because it gets hot in that motherfucker. Put my mask on, grab my knife, and I'm like, cool. And then I show up, and I think I made their entire fucking night. They were like, oh shit, this one's just for you. I'm like, yeah, hey, it's me guys. And it was funny because I got back and Charles was like, "Your walk," and I'm like, what? Apparently my natural gait is just mean and intimidating, like the way I was walking as Michael, but I felt like I was walking normally, but apparently my walk really sold it for Charles. And then I went to our neighbor's house because I saw the garage door was open. And he was like, "I just saw you walk by to go to the other neighbor. And that walk, you have that down pat." I was like, that's just my regular. So long story short, today I learned my natural gait is Michael Myers-esque.
Yep.
Great. So that was amazing. I told Charles, I was like, I'm so envious of those neighbors down the street. What I wouldn't give to be in their shoes, just be playing Halloween music, giving out candy to trick-or-treaters. The Halloween theme comes on, and then who fucking turns up? Michael.
That would be pretty good, not gonna lie.
Oh, man. Did you guys do trick-or-treating tonight, Ryan? Or you guys don't do trick-or-treating?
We do it tomorrow night, because obviously, actually on the 31st is when our neighborhood does it.
But what about little, like, kiddies who have to go to school?
They do it really early. There's like a set time in the village where they all go out and do it. And obviously because the clocks go back tonight, obviously it will be darker when they start going out anyway. So we get a few, but we don't participate in it anyway. We haven't done for years now. We used to when I was much younger. Then it just got to the stage where we stopped doing Halloween parties. We stopped doing trick-or-treating. We just don't bother now. Just don't.
So, like, your nephew and all them.
Oh,
they
so my
don't-
niece and nephew, they'll be popping down, like, to do trick-or-treating. Like, they'll be coming down, and obviously we'll give them a few bits. But the rest of the neighborhood and whatever, we just don't. We have the lights off, and we just don't want to be. We just don't want to be disturbed.
I love it. Maybe I'll get tired of it in a few years, but, like, having lived out in the middle of nowhere for so long
Yeah.
and never having trick-or-treaters,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much. The kids are so cute.
The thing is,
There was this one little girl, one of our first trick-or-treaters that showed up tonight. I don't even remember what she was dressed as. I just remember her hair. She was probably like less than 2 years old, and she had the curliest blonde hair. Like, it was adorable. I was like, oh my God, Charles, did you see that little girl's hair? She was so cute. I love the little kids. Don't want any, but I love the little kids.
I think as well the difference is Halloween's it's very much an American thing as well. Obviously, you guys love it. You know, let's face it,
I didn't know that until I met you guys.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. Americans always do everything extra, not in a bad way. You just do. Yeah, we just don't. We just don't over the side of the pond.
Yeah, there are people in Australia that do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I've lived in this house for near on 25 years. And once I had some trick-or-treaters
Really?
rock up.
Wow.
I had
What?
nothing
And you
out
live
the front
like
showing.
you live like in town, right? Like, I've Google Earthed
Yeah.
your house before. You live like in town.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound creepy. It's fine.
And I just said, sorry, kids, I don't have any candy for you.
Yeah.
But I had, like, there was no decorations out or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it was weird. But that was the one and only time it happened.
I mean, we have
But
the.
occasionally,
Wow.
occasionally you see a few kids
Yeah.
running around.
I mean, we'll see them around tomorrow, and we have. It's sort of like the general consensus here. This might be the same for you two. I don't know, but if there's no decorations on the house, you don't go knocking on the door.
No, it's porch lights here. If the
Okay.
porch light is off, they're not giving out candy.
Okay.
If it's on, then it's fair game.
Gotcha.
Well,
Which I told Charles. Well, me and Charles discussed it. I think he brought it up initially, but both times we've had Halloween here, our street it does not do any justice to the trick-or-treaters because, like, it's few and far between the houses on our actual street that decorate for Halloween, let
Yeah.
alone have their porch lights on.
Right.
So it essentially makes our street look like pretty much a dead street for trick-or-treaters.
Right.
So, and also we're kind of closer to the back of the neighborhood, so I'm assuming like the front streets probably get a lot more Halloween action than we do on the backside of the neighborhood, and then add on the fact that it literally looks like our street is just dark. Like, I don't think that helped the process last year either. But I told Charles, I was like, next year, like, we gotta do it up. Like, I want this shit visible from Google Earth. Like, I want this shit to be popping, like, bright as fuck. I love Halloween.
Well, see, most of the time when here, it's still daylight when they're doing the trick-or-treating, so...
True.
Ours is from 6 to 8, so it was still light out when they started, but it's dark now and it's 8 o'clock. So...
Yeah.
I had a couple of kids who were scared of me. That was pretty funny. I don't know if they probably didn't know who I was, but it was still like, without even knowing who that is, I think it'd probably be scary.
Yeah, if you
see.
didn't know the concept of Michael, then yeah, it would scare the shit out of you.
There was one little dude.
I think just
rocked
carrying that
right
big
up the
butcher's
driveway.
knife.
Yeah.
Well, I was just sitting there. I didn't even, half the time I picked up my knife, half the time I didn't. But there was this one little dude. He just rocked right up the driveway to get some candy. And it was like he didn't process until he got close that I was like, I looked like that. Because he walked up so confidently. And then he got about 3 feet away from me and he just stopped. And he was like, I was like, here, have some candy. Take whatever you want. I don't care. And he was like, oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, were you sat still as it was walking up to you? Like, did he not process that you were actually real?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
I've been in the...
I didn't know that one little girl, the Michael Jackson girl, she came back by on her way out, and her mom came up to get some candy on the second run. And I was like, take as much as you want. And she was like, oh, you're a girl. I was like, yeah. She was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, your costume looks great, but you see Michael Myers and you kind of think, it's, a guy. I'm like, no. It's just me.
Oh,
I
you're
was
a
lazy
girl.
this year.
That was brilliant.
So, oh, damn, we didn't even mention the fact that we're amberless. It's like it's natural now.
Say 2 in a row. It's, yeah.
We're 11 minutes in. And
I know, we haven't even...
Guess what, guys? Amber's not here.
Yeah. She better be next week because she's rounding this off.
Yeah.
I just realized this is how it originally was. Well, not originally, but for a little bit, this is how it was.
Yeah, for a while it was just it was 3. This is bizarre.
This is like back to the beginning, back to square one. This is the prequel.
Whoa. Gone full circle.
Well, I mean, the first season was so up and down with who was available.
It was
the times.
Yeah. We didn't have a pilot episode, we had a pilot season.
I was thinking, I think it was yesterday when the Tiger King 2 trailer came out.
Oh god, yeah.
I was like, Jesus. I'm like, the first one came out when we were still in season 1.
Really?
Like toward the end of season 1, because
What does it say?
I thought it was start of season 2.
I thought it was like
in season
early
2.
season, late season 1, early season 2.
Yeah.
But I was like, has it been that long?
Damn.
Like, not for Tiger King, but for us. I mean, it kind of like put things like into perspective for me. I'm like,
Well, we are.
Jesus.
I mean, yeah, we're 2 years old now, right? Like
Just over.
Just over. Jarden itself, like us, a lot longer, but Jarden itself, fuck. It just goes by so quick.
I'm still waiting to get paid.
I mean,
like,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Actually, you know what? Hold up. Let's see.
She's doing her digging. She's doing her research.
I am. 1, 2. So it was early season 2 that we had that episode.
Yeah, because wasn't it called?
I thought it was like last of season 1. Which I wasn't far off. Last of season 1, but
because what was it? Because we call an episode like Tiger King or something.
Yeah, it was Tigers, Meth, and Marilyn Monroe.
That's it. Yeah.
And I think that was one of the episodes, the earliest episodes that maybe Amber was on, because she and I were talking about it with you guys, like trying to explain it to you guys.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Well, if Marilyn Monroe was in there, Amber was in there.
Yeah, Amber was there.
I don't know where the meth came from, but yeah.
I think that was with the
I
Tiger
don't
King,
even want to
wasn't
go back.
I can't remember.
Probably.
I mean,
I don't even want to go back and listen to
I was
those
going to say, I'll be the
episodes.
first to say it. Once I finish editing an episode and it's gone live, I won't listen to it again. So I can't even remember what
I
some of
like
them are.
listening to our more recent episodes, but the first season and into season 2 were so unguided that it's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
I feel like only us or people who know us personally would enjoy listening to those, because it's like,
yeah. I think any new listeners or new subscribers from today, or at least season 3 onwards, if you haven't gone back and listened to season 1 and 2, don't. Like, see, season 1 definitely.
That's what I tell people.
Yeah, season 1.
That's what I tell people who ask about the show. I'm like, it's about at present, it's about unsolved mysteries, but we've done urban legends and conspiracy theories. I'm like, the first season and into season 2 were a bit of a variety show. Was not great at the time, so please do not listen to that.
Yeah, like season 2 has its comedy value to it, and they're probably a good listen if you want to see the difference between us being serious from season 3 onwards, the dicking around in season 2. But season 1, just it's a complete write-off. Just it's there if you get really fucking bored, but no one's that bored.
The first 2 seasons are basically 2 seasons of bonus episodes.
Pretty much, yeah. Free bonus poor content.
Yeah. I had something else I was going to mention, but I don't remember what it was. So this is episode 11.
Yeah, Jess, episode 11. Fuck. And then, yeah, next week, so we're on finale, and then we're wrapping it up until whenever we said we were going to do season 6. I don't know, but yeah.
Fuck, Christmas is coming up. That means I gotta buy stuff for you guys again already. Jesus Christ.
I've already started.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start.
Just off screen in the darkness here, there's 2 boxes next to my houseplants already. One's for Dougie, and then the other is for both Jess and Amber. And they're both getting bits in already. Fuck.
Oh my god, remember last year when we went drunk wish shopping?
Let's not.
Multiple times?
Let's not do it.
Multiple times?
Let's not do that again.
Not just once. Not just once.
I know.
It happened a couple of times.
It did happen a couple of times. Once we recorded, and the other we did just on a video call when we were all, well, both times we were hammered. Well, Dougie.
I still have one of the things that I bought Dougie that got here too late. Actually, I still have something for Dougie and something for you that I ordered during Drunk Wish shopping that got here too late for me. Like they came in after I'd already shipped my packages off. So
okay.
I think I'm getting sick and I'm mad about it.
Well, why don't we move on from the topic of Christmas because we're not there yet, and hand over to...
Yeah, we're only a month away. Let's go.
Oh, God. Hand over to our resident Aussie.
Yes,
Who's that?
Some drongo.
What have you got
Some
for us today?
Kaba. Am I allowed to say that?
What?
Some cobber?
Are you allowed to say cobber?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like a slur or is that just like an insult?
No. There you going, cobber.
And I think you're talking shit to him.
It's just like, no. Just because I always talk shit to Abby anyway.
Okay.
No, it's just like saying mate or pal, something like that. It's not an insult. Okay. So this one, I'm going to apologise up front. I suck at doing this sort of crap. I hated it in school. So
Me too, Dougie, me too.
I'm going to do my best on this one, but I'm not going to make any assumptions or anything like that.
Ooh.
I'm just going to list all the facts and everything, and people can make their own mind up.
Okay.
It is a weird one. This one was actually requested by one of Ryan's friends or acquaintances.
Yeah, friend of mine, yep.
this is the Bain family murder in New Zealand. So my brothers and sisters over the way.
Right.
And so basically on the morning of the 20th of June 1994, 5 members of the Bain family were shot dead. 4 days after the murders, David Bain, the eldest son, was charged with the murder of the family.
Oh.
So the family that were killed, the members that were murdered were Robin Bain, the father, his wife Margaret, daughters, I apologise, I'm going to get these names wrong, but Arawa, she was 19, Laniette, 18, and son Stephen, 14. So David was 22.
Yay.
They're from... This is a big case in New Zealand. Apparently is well known there. I'd never heard of it. They're from Dunedin in New Zealand. I believe that's how that's pronounced. So what makes this unsolved was the fact that David Bain was charged for the murder and went to jail, but then was acquitted and released.
Oh.
Because of other evidence.
Oh.
Now, with a lot of the stuff that's in this case, some points to David, but other parts point to the father as a murder-suicide.
Okay.
There is actually a podcast, which I haven't listened to, about this called Black Hands. And there's supposedly a movie as well. I don't know if it's out yet or not. But there was a movie being made about it as well.
Right.
So I'm just going to briefly go through David's side of things.
Okay.
So basically, Margaret Bain, Robin Bain, their 3 children were found dead in their house in Dunedin, New Zealand. All been shot at close range with a rifle. The father was found lying on the floor in the living room, rifle at his side, with a note written on the computer reading, "Sorry, you were the only one who deserved to stay," referring to David, who was out delivering newspapers the morning of the killings. So he got home and rang emergency services at 7:09 in the morning and screaming, "They're all dead," and whatnot. When the police arrived, upon judging the scene, they believed it was a murder-suicide. But one thing that the police couldn't understand was David could not account for 20 to 25 minutes of time between his coming home and discovering the bodies and calling emergency services. He could also not account for fresh injuries on his hands and face, so he was hence charged.
Oh, come on.
So I'm just going to read. My sources are Wikipedia, counterspin.co.New Zealand, NZ, murderpedia.org, medium.com, which is an interesting one, and stuff.co.nz. So I'm just going to read the prosecution theory, and then the alternative theory to start with. So this quoted from crime.co.nz. So David wakes around 5 a.m., does his normal routine. Sorry. That is not his normal room. Gets dressed, goes to his wardrobe, pulls out his .22 rifle, unlocks a trigger guard, attaches the silencer and loads a 10-round magazine. Takes a pair of white gloves from a drawer and puts them on. He wears a pair of his mother's glasses because his are being repaired. Goes to his sister Leniette's room where he shoots her twice in the head as she lies sleeping. Goes to his mother's room and shoots her in the forehead. In the room of his mother, he finds the room off his mother's. He finds Stephen asleep, puts a rifle to his head, but Stephen wakes and pushes it away as it goes off. There is a struggle with Stephen bleeding from the scalp wound as he fights for his life. David twists Stephen's t-shirt to strangle him, and he lies on the floor gasping. David finishes him off with a bullet to the head. During the struggle, David's glasses have fallen off. He turns on the light, picks them up, leaving one of the lenses on the floor, carries them back to his bedroom and places them on his chair. He then goes downstairs to where his sister, Arawa, has heard the shots and is praying for help. She is kneeling as David enters the room and shoots, but misses as he cannot see without his glasses. He shoots again, and this time the bullet hits her in the forehead, killing her. He goes back upstairs to where he hears Leniette gurgling and shoots her again in the top of the head. David throws his bloodied clothing into the washing machine and turns it on. David's father, Robin, is still asleep in the caravan out the back. David puts on a fresh set of clothes and goes out with his dog Casey to do his morning paper run. Returning home, he goes into the lounge and turns the computer on. He types in the suicide message, ostensibly from his father, to him saying, "Sorry, you're the only one who deserved to stay." David hides from the curtain, behind the curtain with the rifle, and waits for his father to come in to pray, a daily morning routine. Robin enters the room and kneels on the other side of the curtains. David shoots his father in the head, leaving the rifle beside the body. David dials 111, which is emergency number in New Zealand. So that is the prosecution's theory of the events of what happened.
Right.
This is an alternative theory. Since David Bain was acquitted, if it was accepted that David Bain did not kill his family that morning, then who did? There's only one other possibility, and that favoured, at least during the earlier stages of investigation, that Robin Bain murdered his wife Margaret, then his daughters Leniette and Arawa, and then son Stephen before shooting himself. A message was left on the computer, allegedly from him for David, saying, "Sorry, you're the only one who deserved to live." Theorists point to what they say are compelling facts to substantiate this scenario. They say Leniette returned home that weekend to confront her parents with her father's alleged incest with her over several years. Bain could have been looking at serious criminal charges if this had been true and had been reported to the authorities, had it been reported to authorities giving him a motive. They say Robin's marriage to Margaret was essentially over, with Robin living in a schoolhouse at Kairi Beach. I apologise to the New Zealanders for that one. During the week, and a shabby caravan outside the family home at weekends. Not all bloodstains on Robin's clothes were analysed before the trial, and supporters say that it is the possibility that some could have come from other family members. If so, this would have severely damaged the prosecution's case and strengthened the evidence against Robin. The firearms discharge residue test, which indicates the presence of gunpowder on people who have recently fired a gun, was not carried out on Robin until 5 hours after the police arrived. This may have made the test inconclusive, as residue can disappear within hours of a shooting. In addition, instead of the test being done at the scene, they were carried out at the mortuary. after the bodies had been moved without the hands being protected. Robin had 6 recent injuries to his hands. There were 20 empty cartridge shells in Robin's caravan, indicating that Robin had access to and had used David's rifle on previous occasions. Note, some of these issues were addressed and discounted by police investigating the original investigation. They were also rejected by the Court of Appeal. So that's the prosecution theory and the case against why David was let off or acquitted, so to speak. But yeah, like I said, there was a lot in this one. I'm trying to briefly touch on as much as I can, and not so this doesn't go for too long. Anyone interested in learning more about it, if you don't know anything, by all means go to the podcast, the Black Hands podcast, and have a listen to that. With regards to the Black Hands, that is a reference. What is that? I think it was something to do with not being in control of your body. Something else is controlling you.
Right.
So the Black Hands, you're basically possessed.
Okay.
Because there is counts of David being in a state of it's talk like he's having an episode where he's not aware of anything that's going on around him. There was a time where he was with friends at an opera or something like that, and during 2 of the scenes, he was what's the word? Non-responsive, basically.
Right.
And went to get up and walk away. And he knew nothing about what was going on, and his friends thought that was weird. Just trying to find the bit.
There's been accounts of crimes like that before, where I'm trying to think of the guy's name in particular, but I can't remember. But he was used as a pawn, basically, and he claimed he was hypnotized of sorts into committing the murder. What the fuck was his name?
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because as soon as Dougie went into this one, I immediately thought of the Amityville house. I don't know if you guys have heard those movies, the Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
Based on a true story, Ronnie DeFeo, he was one of the children, but he murdered 6 of his family members in the Amityville house back in the 70s or something like that, and he had claimed that the house or something within the house had possessed him. At first he tried to buy it off as, a couple of different things. I think one of them was it was a mob hit or something, but eventually he came to say that he thought that something in the house had possessed him to kill his family.
Yep.
That's the first thing that, I thought it was so weird that Dougie, whenever he started the story, was saying that it was, a guy who killed his parents and siblings. I'm like, this sounds like Ronnie DeFeo in Amityville. What the fuck is going on?
Okay. With regards to him not being in control, or him, not aware of what's going on. Oh, where'd it go? So, David exhibiting behaviour that he claimed not to be in control of, given the proximity of the time of this event to the time of the murders, it might be fair to think that David had already planned to use this new spacing out behaviour as part of his alibi. But it was thought that David was already beginning to believe that his body and his soul were not in step with one another. 6 weeks before the murders, David took a second-hand motorcycle for a test spin and crashed it, owing the shop's manager $2,000 for damages. Possibly could be another example of failing to be in full control of his body, but that could just be not knowing how to ride a motorcycle properly.
Yep.
But the claim that he's unaware of his surroundings it was a symphonia that he went to with his friends. Might be better explained by his belief that his body was increasingly coming to be occupied by an invading demonic spirit. Indeed, it's unclear how David might have imagined that his spacing out behaviour could support his alibi, that any missing time might be explained by it. But his trance states are a crucial element in explaining the behaviour, and resulting disassociation goes some way to explaining his professed innocence. In the weeks after the murders, David had the following conversation about the possible perpetrators, who the possible perpetrators could be, with the same friend who he went to the Symphonia with. If it was my father, I could never forgive him, and if it was me, and his friend said, David, you could never have done that. Of course, strange people to ask whether they have committed a crime. Typically, most people are aware of it.
Yeah.
But with regards to that, his mother, Margaret, had a long-term untreated mental illness which dominated family life. One of the persistent delusions of her was the belief that Robin was possessed by the devil, who she referred to by the Hebrew name Belial or Belial. Belial. I apologise again for bad pronunciation. In her diary, she frequently ranks family members by the amount of Bel currently residing within them. Robin was judged to be the most filled. And she even referred to Robin directly as Bel in the diaries.
Wow.
So other partial admissions of David indicate, I think, that he knew his body was the body committing the crime. So 1, David admits that he was the only person who knew where the key to the gun's trigger lock was kept. If that was true, then only his body could carry out the murders. And if David was the only person, so then only Bel could be responsible, using David as a mere vessel. This is theories. David admitted that he had a premonition in the weeks before the killings. He later admitted to a friend that the premonition was of the murders. And David admitted to hearing Leniette gurgling when he saw her body. Yeah,
That's
a pleasant thing.
Yeah, no,
I feel like I've heard this before.
This could only be the case, according to forensic scientists questioned during the trial, if David was present during the murders. It was a strange detail for David to provide, and it fits more easily with the picture according to which David knows he was there in some sense, but was in another sense not the man behind the gun. So, yeah, he's possibly could have been possessed, not aware that he did it, because some of the evidence, the cartridge, I can't remember if it was a bullet or the actual
The casing.
magazine
Yeah.
for the gun was on the ground next to Robin's body, but it was standing upright. So, like it was placed there, not
Right. Yeah.
dropped. So, it's just, yeah, like I said, a lot of the things point to David, but he's been acquitted. And there's just so many inconsistencies on both sides. And, yeah, like I said, there was enough evidence found to
Contrary?
evidence.
Contradictory?
Contradictory evidence to point towards Robin doing the murders. But like I said, with the forensic statement, not the forensic, the prosecution theory, because of the fact that David had come home from his paper run and found the bodies, but he'd washed his clothes before finding the bodies and whatnot. There's just a lot of weird things that sort of counter what happened. But like recently, when was that? So in 2019, a couple of witnesses came forward and they said they told the police what they saw at the time, but their testimony was palmed off and never actually written down anywhere. There was no evidence of their testimony because they saw what they believe was David coming home early that morning. So they saw a tall paper boy who looked like David Bain around 7 a.m. in a location near Every Street, which is near their house. If correct, the sighting puts Bain, who was outside the Bain house when he claimed to be inside the house, recoiling from finding his family shot. Still, that 25 minutes of unknown what happened, he can't account for. But they said, I'm pretty sure they said they saw him walk into a lamppost.
Like physically,
Right?
just
Which could account, which could account for the damage on his face. There's facial photos you can see down one side. He's got a graze on his head, his cheek, and in blotching on his jaw. I can't see the other side of the face, but that looks like someone who might have walked into a lamppost.
Been there.
So these two witnesses are a couple, and they were both heading off to work early in the morning. They were walking to the bus stop, and they saw the tall paper boy, which they thought was, this guy's too old to be doing a paper run. And but yeah, said they watched him come down Highcliffe Street, bump into a lamppost and carry on. But there was no mention of the dog. So they didn't, because other people had seen him leave the house they'd heard a dog bark and saw him leaving, walking well, someone walking the dog. So, yeah, like I said, I apologise. I'm really bad at doing this sort of stuff, so I'm all over the place.
You got the...
And this is this is a real one, real weird one.
You got the facts there, and I've got my theories.
I feel like I really feel like I've heard about this one before. Like, there's something about the sister's death gurgling that, like, I feel like I've heard this one before on another podcast, maybe.
You probably have heard about it somewhere. This was back in '94, so you were rather young at the time.
I didn't exist.
I wasn't even born.
You may have
94.
94.
Yeah.
You were 3 years old, weren't you?
I wasn't born, Jess.
Not 84, 94.
I know what you said. I was being facetious, and also I was saying how long it would take Ryan to catch on, which apparently he still has not caught on. Still sitting there.
Caught on to what? You were already born by then.
It was a joke, you hobo.
Sometimes we can never tell with you, Jess.
I don't apologize. I'm not going to apologize for my poker face and my deadpan sense of humor.
Yeah. You do it too well.
Yeah.
We just...
I know. I should be famous by now. I'm fucking sick of it.
Unsure.
Yeah.
Anyway, I believe Jess or Amber would have done this one much more justice, for sure.
Thanks.
No. Come on, Ryan. You have to
I admit it. I feel like I've heard of the name like Bain, like the Bain family before, but I've not heard the case. Like, I've not heard the story. I've not heard the theories. I've not heard anything like that. Sorry, the facts rather.
Yep.
I have a couple of theories based off of what you've just educated us on. One for each single sorry, I'm just stretching out my legs. For each facts that you brought forward. I want to say outright, I don't think it could have been a murder-suicide. The very first prosecution you read out sounded too detailed and too accurate for it to then contradict and it to be a murder-suicide. And the fact that there was 20 to 25 minutes unaccounted for,
that's weird.
That is a long ass time to not know what you're doing. Unless he was having another episode, and wasn't in control.
And people, that happens to people.
Yeah, it does. It can, and it's very unfortunate when it does. But also in a situation like this, oh, how so convenient.
Yeah,
Just that. The fact as well that he washed his clothes as well. That, yeah. Enough said on that. I think everyone's thinking the same thing on that one. But going on the fact that he said he had a premonition and had vivid details of it and stuff like that. Jess, you and I have touched on this subject a couple of times, a couple of years ago now, haven't we? On premonition kind of things or dream-related states and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's, I know with me, and I think I would have mentioned this before to you anyway. it's not until I'm halfway through said scenario, like in reality, that's when the penny drops, and I'm like, whoa, I've dreamt of this before, months ago or a year ago, or fuck it, just last week, X amount of time span. But by then, obviously, the situation is already happened and concluded. Could I believe that as a potential theory? Yeah, I could, because I've been through it. I've dreamt of something, and then weeks, months, years down the line, it's happened. But nothing as extreme as to murdering my whole family.
Yeah.
That one, that's my trip upon that one. Dreaming of a premonition and then it happening, fair enough. Like, my latest one was a situation at work. Yeah, exciting, I know. And then I think one of my most extreme ones was vivid details about boarding on an airplane and going on holiday, and bam, that exactly play by play happened. But that was about a year before. But I think something extreme is shooting your entire family multiple times and hearing discussing details of, was it his mum gurgling or his sister?
Sister?
His sister.
The sister. Vivid details like that.
That's more of like, and I hate to be an armchair psychologist, but that's more of, I feel like that would be more of like a mental something, not clairvoyance necessarily. Like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm defending the fact that he could have had a premonition, but I'm not accepting the fact that that is what happened. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I understand where he's coming from, but I feel like he would have had full control over that entire situation.
For fuck's sake, okay? Like, I have been aware of whatever sense of clairvoyance that I have since I was a teenager, if not earlier, to the point where I have in my nightstand, even now, a book, a little small notebook. It literally says dream book on the outside. Like, that is what it was printed. It says dream book. And I have in that notebook from the time I was 13 or 14 until now, where I have woken up in the middle of the night and written down my dreams, because I've always been aware, because I wanted it for due diligence sake, because I knew early on that things were happening to me in real life that I had dreamt of before, and I wanted to document it so that if anyone ever asked, I could be like, look, I'm not crazy. I wrote this in my dream book, and then it happened on this date later on. So I have kept this book for over half of my life, and never have I once murdered someone because of these premonitions.
Yeah.
I've never acted on any of these dreams that I've ever had, besides just like telling people like, hey, like this happened to me, and look, this is in my dream book. Like, I dreamt that this would happen at some point.
Yep.
I didn't fucking kill anybody.
No.
Yet.
I remember on a few occasions where I'd get a message from Jess saying, Dougie, are you all right?
Oh, God, that happens to me so much.
And it'd be a day I'd probably be home sick from work or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
That happens so often.
I always have this feel. I don't know what that is. I always have this feeling when Dougie has laid out of work for the day. I don't know what that's about.
That's bizarre.
Like, I always just, I just have this feeling in my gut. Like, I'm like, hey, you're out of work today, aren't you? Dougie's like, yeah, I didn't feel well, so I didn't go in. I don't know what that's. I didn't know that we were all that connected. But no, apparently we are.
Even though we've never actually physically met.
Yeah, it's rather worrying. It was quite nice.
Now that he's mentioned, yes, that has happened quite a few times. I don't know what that is. I can't explain it. It's just, I don't know. When he's not where he's supposed to be, when I feel, when he's supposed to be wherever he is or where he's supposed to be, I know. I know.
I can't hide. She's on the other side of the world and I still can't hide.
I need to study how to hone that skill because
Yep.
it's never intentional. I want it to be intentional. It's always like coincidental.
I mentioned it to you the other day, Jess. My sister Linda is a very spiritual person. Like she's done astral travel and stuff like that out of body.
You need to set me up with her because I was literally Googling how to astral project the other day.
She's done tarot cards and stuff like that. And I sat in watching her do a mate of mine a tarot card reading, and her interpretation of the cards was eerily accurate to him. And she'd never met him before.
For example, as Christianity, I don't think you can really be like, oh, that's not real. Because it's like, okay, this is kind of like just as ridiculous as yours. So, like, who are you to say? So, I'm not going to go off on an astrology hoe rant. That's just... I do need practice with tarot cards, though, because I bought a deck like a month ago, and then Amber came over here to record one night, and we were just kind of like playing around with them, like not really knowing what we were doing.
All we can say is
and I'm like, okay,
own,
so
everyone's got their own
I had the
outlook,
instructions or
everyone's got
whatever.
their own opinion.
I'm like, okay, ask a question
And
to the cards,
people
like,
are gonna
you know,
believe
shuffle
what
the deck, did whatever.
Want to believe?
And she's like,
at the end of the day,
okay,
Yep.
When will I be rich? And I pulled this card that was like, it was significant to, like spousal death or like something along those. It was something, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something that translated roughly to when Alan dies, basically. That was the gist of it. So it was something like old age, loneliness, or something like stuff like that. And she took it to be like, oh, so when Alan dies. And I'm like, I think that's what it's saying. Like, I don't know, because this is my first time, but yeah, that's what it's looking like. So you'll be rich whenever Alan dies and you get that insurance money. Yeah, secure that bag, girl. It was just not a great tarot day for her. I think, like, after that, I don't remember what she asked after that, but like everything that I pulled for her it was basically old age and solitude and like loneliness and not having anybody and being desolate and just very depressing. So
it doesn't sound it.
I'm gonna need to get with your sister though, Dougie, because I need to know how to astral project, because I was literally just Googling that yesterday because I'm trying to travel for free.
Oh shit!
Has your sister like so she's astral projected? And do you believe her? Where has she been? You've astral projected?
For the love of God, don't come here.
Where did you go?
Yeah.
But like the purpose of astral projection is to like go somewhere.
I've experienced.
I kind of remember that too, but like, isn't the point of it to like
a couple of times
go somewhere? Like it's an out of body experience, but like people. Okay, so unintentionally, sure, but like when people do it intentionally, they're trying to go somewhere, not just like look at their butt.
Oh, I remember you telling me.
Dougie.
I remember you telling me, Dougie.
Look,
you need to try it tonight.
Yes, it was an out-of-body experience. In this, yeah,
I'm telling.
Well, let me put it into context for our viewers, listeners. Back when I was a teenager, I was over at a friend's place and we were smoking marijuana. I don't know what was in it. Don't worry, Mum knows all about it. She had to come pick me up. I don't know what was in it, but it just wiped me. My movements were really slow, and I had to get home for dinner, and there was no way I was going to drive. And so, mate, this is before we had mobile phones. So, mate called Mum up. She came and picked me up. She was pissed. She lectured me the whole way home. I was just saying, yes, Mum, no, Mum, I won't do it again, Mum. Got home, I went straight to the bedroom, laid down on my bed, and
I'm so mad.
fell asleep. Then, at some stage, I remember waking up, like gone into my room, closed the door, went to bed. I remember waking up, going to the bedroom door, opening it, turning around, looking at my body laying on my bed.
Whoa.
And then I woke up for real. And I was because that freaked me out because I was high as a kite. And yeah, I woke up, I looked at the door, and the door was ajar. And no one had come into my room.
That's fucked up.
So, yeah, I'm not going back to sleep. I'm not going back to sleep. I'm not going back to sleep. I went back to sleep. I passed out again. So, and another time was actually here at my house. I was asleep in bed, and I actually had the feeling that I was starting to float off my bed and just rising up, and the roof was actually getting closer and closer, and I just freaked out and then actually woke up with a jolt. So that jolt is you
hear him.
Your body, I can't remember what they actually call it. Your astral body joining back with your physical body. And
I'm so mad because what you're describing, people basically, from everything I've read, like that's something that they have to practice when it comes to astral projecting. Like you have to practice like seeing your astral body arising from your physical body, because that like helps expedite the process. Like if you can envision that, like that kind of like assists in the whole projection and you're over here like just getting fucking high and doing it unintentionally. Like
well, flying is another step. Being able to control it and fly is a complete another level, and my sister Linda said she has done that.
Where has she been? Like out of the country?
No, not going that far. But I just remember her telling me about it. She managed to fly for a little while.
I'm gonna add her on Facebook because we need to talk.
She's not on Facebook.
I'm gonna add her on Kick because we need to talk.
She's on no social media.
Why?
Me in the astro world, Jess.
Yeah, no, she's completely against social media.
Don't blame her.
I don't think I want to talk to her now.
Hey, I do. If she says she can fly, I want to meet her. That's my one fucking superpower I'd have. Damn.
Being against social media, big red flag.
Her and I, like, I'm close with all my family, but Linda and I are closer by the fact that we're the same age for a week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna astral
So-
project to her and then haunt her into joining Facebook.
That'll never happen.
You don't know that if she's haunted.
Man, it really is.
She'll just tell you to fuck off. She deals with
Well,
that.
she can't. It's not gonna work because I mean, by all accounts, sure, I am a demon, but
Yeah.
actually, no, I'm not physically.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. What?
Personality wise, yes. Physically, no. So she can't do, expulsion spells on me because I'm literally just a human. So see you soon, Linda.
Well, it really is witching hour over here. Is
Haunting her won't make any difference.
Listen, I've been watching Chilling Adventures of Sabrina for the last 3 days, so basically I'm a witch by
oh,
proxy
for fuck's
now.
sake!
Thanks.
It's all just a bunch of hocus pocus.
I know what I'm doing. I have a sign on my mantle that says that right now.
So,
Dougie,
yes.
are you gonna tune into my cooking show after this?
Your cooking show?
Yeah, we're gonna make 1-pan pork carnitas tacos.
What's it streaming
That's my
on?
third podcast. It's gonna be streaming on Facebook Messenger.
To an audience a max of 7 if they all join.
More than likely it'll just be me.
It's like because I'm probably going to be going.
Quite often it ends up
I'm
just
probably
me.
going to be going.
I'm holding Ryan hostage. Ryan's going
It's
to
just
be there.
ticked over to.
Ryan's going to be there. Ryan is going to be there.
Yes.
Ryan.
So, yes. Anyway,
Yes.
we'll finish up the Bain family one. If anybody wants to go and check that, we've gone off on a wild
We have gone off on a tangent there.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's a lot in there that I didn't touch on, and like I said, I'm just not that good at presenting on that side of things, where I believe this one would have been better for Jess or Amber to present. They could have done so much better with it, just because of
Blah, blah, blah. Suck my ass more, fucker.
okay.
If this were a
If you
season 1
insist.
episode, it would be called like murder, astral projection, and 1-pan pork cart.
Probably, yeah. Or blah, 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 suck my ass. Like, they would. There'd be one quote picked out, yeah.
So,
Like-
yes, like I said, if you want to check
Yeah.
it out, go check out the Black Hands podcast, and thank you to Ryan's friend for suggesting this one. That was really interesting one to look into.
Okay, I don't think Dougie can hear us right now, but yes, I will let her know that you've done this one, Dougie. We're going to wrap this up and get on the cooking show. Next week for the finale, guys. Bye.